Jellyfish is Tracy, the Jellyfish Queen, and I really want to do something to my intro where I say, like, and you are my loyal subjects, or something like that. Let me know if you guys have ideas, because it's a really awesome guy on YouTube, and I haven't watched, like, a lot of wrestling videos, but I need to subscribe to their channel and totally watch them, but they're What Culture Wrestling, and they're awesome. They talk about wrestling stuff, and there's this really cool guy, his name's King Ross. He plays, like, his name's Ross, but he calls himself King Ross, and he's great. And he comes on there, and he has, like, a crown and, like, a scepter, and then he's all like, my name is King Ross, and you are my loyal subjects, and I think it's really cool, so... Ooh, speaking, we need to wear Princess Crown for this video, because I talked about it, and I feel as though it fits the nature of this video. Okay, so basically, this is my Princess Crown. Paul got it for me for my birthday, or Christmas, or something one year. I don't know, it's pretty great. I don't know if you can actually, like, see that, because it cuts off the top on my thing, so I don't know. This thing is actually extraordinarily painful, like... Whoever designs, like, hair accessories really just doesn't understand that this hurts. If you put this in your head, it hurts. Some of, like, the headbands and stuff, like, I like the headbands that are, like, you know... I can't wear that crown, guys. I'm sorry, I can't. I know I'm the Jellyfish Queen and all, but I just can't. Crown's too painful. I need to get another one. So, I'm gonna do this video, and I want to make this quick because I tried to film it for already, and I talked for like 3 years, and I really didn't talk about like anything in that. So I want to make this a lot shorter and really get to the base of what I'm really trying to say. So kind of funny, actually, a couple weeks ago, one of my friends, Dimitri, was like, Tracy, you should do a video. Sorry, things are... my crown, I knocked stuff over. So he was like, you should do a video talking about if Soul Ring should be banned in EDH. And I was like, Dimitri, I was like, I doubt anyone thinks that, and you know what? Like, it's not gonna happen, right? So I put it down and I was like, maybe I'll do it. And didn't end up doing it, obviously, until now. And then, a couple weeks later, MTGO announces that they're banning Soul Ring in 1v1 EDH games. Now, I just want to say, I am not talking about this context as if I was an MTGO player, because I'm not, and I don't really know that much about it. What I get, though, the vibes that I kind of get from MTGO, is that it's, it tends to be more of the competitive stuff. I could be wrong, I'm not exactly too sure. I feel like definitely if I were to ever participate in MTGO, which I definitely will not, I would personally not, ever do EDH, just because I think power levels are really tough to match on that sort of thing, whereas if I got like a modern deck, it would look totally different. So I wouldn't do MTGO, but if I did, it would never be EDH. Power levels are too janky, in my opinion, to try to balance that. So here's the deal. Question, should Soul Ring be banned? My answer, no. Definitely not should be banned. Here's the deal. It's one card out of 99, and in the beginning you draw, you know, your 7 cards and you have them, whatever. The chance of you having Soul Ring, let's see. It's 99 cards, yeah, because your commander counts as 1. But, you know, your likelihood goes up if you have one of those partner commanders, and you have, like, 2, and then you have, like, your 98 count card deck, and, you know, your chances of getting Soul Ring in your opening hand are a little bit better. But, guys, I mean, really, I have this sort of thing when I have my cards, and I shuffle, and everyone's play group is really different with, like, mulligan rules and how they've kind of done that, but I still play with the partial mulligan rule, and really, if I were to play against other people who I wasn't really familiar with them and their decks and what they were, I would just say mulligan, because, like, the old mulligan rules were, like, you know, you draw your 7, and then you're like, I don't like 3 of these, and you put them back, and then you draw 3 more, and then if you don't like your whole hands, you can pitch it back and draw 6. What I do instead is I would just tell the person to draw 7 if they really don't draw anything. But say you have that sort of rule, is I feel like what some people would do is, so you have your 7, you pitch 2. You draw 2. You're like, I don't like those 2. You draw another 2. I don't like those 2. Draw another 2. And, like, I feel like as I'm talking about this, some of you are like, I know people who do that, and, like, whatever. I do think that you need to, like, set ground rules and to be like, hey, that's not okay. Because in that sort of situation, you could just keep doing that forever until you draw your Soul Ring, or, like, whatever card it is that you need. But yeah, I really do think it doesn't need to be banned in a 1v1 setting. And also, too, like, that's mostly how I play EDH at this moment. Like, Paul and I will just play. It's 1v1. I haven't really played that much with Magic with other people in quite a bit. So it's never really been something like in a 4-person game, you know, it's never really been an issue. The likelihood of it happening is very slim. And yeah, again, if you play MTGO and you want to let me know how that works and how it goes, I'd really like to know about that, because I don't really know how that whole situation, I don't really get MTGO, don't really understand it that much, but I can understand why it's come up in conversation. I guess I can understand why they did it in MTGO, but I think really what it comes down to is bannings, in my opinion, really do take time to consider. They should take time to mull over. It should be like a conversation. It shouldn't just be like, hey, yeah, like, card's oppressive, card's awful. And, you know, what's interesting about that sort of situation is I could say, it's 1 card out of 99, and yes, true, absolutely. But we all know the power of 1 card. We all know the power of 1 card. And there's cards that, you know, really in EDH, like, if you use that logic, you say, well, why isn't X banned, or why is this card banned if it's just 1 card? I guess really the mentality is, oh, it's a card that once you play it, it's a game changer, it's very hard to remove, you know, that whole sort of thing. Then you really get into, like, if someone plays something that's that oppressive, like, in a sense, a lot of things, the things that are banned, like, you could remove them. Like, Primeval Titan's a really good example of this. So, Prime Time's banned in EDH, if you didn't know. Card's really good. Card should definitely stay unbanned. Absolutely. Card should 100% never, ever be unbanned. That should just not be a thing. Even if it ever does get unbanned, I would probably just refuse to run it, because the card is just too good. I've played with it before in a different setting, but it's so good that it should just stay where it is. Primetime should just stay in his little cove, Jay chillin', you know, whatever, doing his own thing. Like, no. But yeah, it should take a lot of time, it should take a lot of consideration into why is this card banned, why is this card not banned, and I think a card like Soul Ring, like, you know, you look at that and you're like, card's really good, we're not arguing that, we know it's good, people run it, you should run it in EDH, but it's like you have your Soul Ring and you play it, and it's probably really not gonna be the biggest deal. So you play it, and then you're like, okay, I get to my stuff faster. But it's not like you play it and, oh my god, I can't beat that. Just put a Soul Ring, man. Like, what the hell am I supposed to do about that? It just gets you to whatever it is that you need to faster. And it has no real, it doesn't really hurt you. It's not a card like, what is it, Mana Vault or Mana Crypt? I don't even remember the difference. But the one where it's like 0 mana and then it taps to add 4 to your pool. And then you have to pay if you don't, it does damage to you. Like, that's a card that does, like, damage to you. But yeah, like, but like Soul Ring, there's no penalty against you. You just play it and you just have it forever, baby. Like, do whatever you want, sort of thing. But, I don't know. I just don't think it's just in 1v1 settings and in multiplayer settings, I really don't feel like it's an issue. Like, I think especially in multiplayer settings, like, there's so many people that can react, that will have removal, that will have things to deal with it, that it's really not so much of an issue. But yeah, I just don't think the matter is, like, super urgent. You know, I think there's, in my opinion, I could name way more oppressive cards that some people would be like, yeah, card's really stupid, but in my opinion, I tend to have things with cards where I'm like, yes, this card is stupid, I have issues with it, but it can be played around. You know, you can play around that sort of card. Oh, my camera is yelling at me. You can play around that card. Like, a card like Primeval Titan, you say, oh yeah, just path it, or board wipe it, or whatever, deal with it somehow. Yeah, those cards exist. It's, I think, the addition of the other cards. It's, you play that, and then you also play this, and you play this indestructibility thing, and like this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and then we get into the whole thing about broken, oppressive cards, and that's just a whole other subject matter, and it's just, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. There's a lot of layers. So, yeah. That was it. Wanted to make this real short, kind of short, sort of, yeah. Also, my camera's dying, I mean, I didn't really have anything else to say, but I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.